So thank you for participating tonight. You know, I was talking to Kristen, and as I reflected on this topic, it seemed particularly, I guess, poignant is the word I'll use, that this is something that we're talking about against the backdrop of the violence in Texas, certainly in Buffalo, because I do think that the past several years have been just this perfect storm of concern and large issues that are weighing down on people, right? Concerns how to keep our loved ones safe. The pandemic, the stress associated with the personal loss so many people have experienced, the loss of connection that we've had from colleagues that we've been separated from, increased, political divisiveness. I had written, violence in the schools, not knowing just how heavy that would be as, I opened the discussion tonight. But this perfect storm that has really emphasized how mental health and our mental health being compromised, being under attack, is something that is so prevalent because of this larger context, because of these so many issues that are coming together and increasing the stress and strain that we all feel in our personal lives. And yet the workplace and our personal lives have been smashed together, particularly as we've moved into a remote environment in ways that we never imagined. And so making sure that we recognize that we are an individual who, yes, we are an employee, we are a worker, but we're also a human being, right? And the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions that we have, we bring those into the work that we do, into the workplace, the virtual workplace or the in-person workplace. And so if there is a bit of a silver lining to what has been certainly a lot of very tragic circumstances, is that we're starting to talk more about the importance of mental health. Leaders and organizations are putting a spotlight on it in ways that I think are encouraging and promising, because the truth is that mental health has been a part of who we are long before the pandemic and the ratcheting up of violence and other pressures, but only in the past 10 years, and especially in the past 2 years, do I think it has started to emerge as a topic that folks are comfortable this much, maybe not this much, talking about in the context of the workplace. And so I'm here today to talk not as a mental health expert, but as somebody who studies and talks to leaders and employees and wants to unpack in the discussion tonight the role specifically that leaders and talent development professionals can play in the topic of mental health. So to go beyond policies and days off and EAP and get real about how leaders and team members can work to create an environment that is compassionate, one that allows people to bring their feelings into the workplace. So you already learned a little bit about me. I'm happy to chat with any of you or have you reach out to me directly after this discussion, but I really want to dig in and share some thoughts and get you talking about this issue within very short order. So I'll tee up the challenge. We will go into a breakout, and then on the back end after the breakout, I want to offer the ways in which I think leaders and talent development professionals can start to do more than dip their toe in the water of mental health. You can really become a part of the solution with your coworkers and with the teams that you lead. So the first thing I wanted to do was just get us started with a poll to say, how comfortable are you talking about issues of mental health with your coworkers? So I know that John's going to open up a poll. How comfortable are you with this? And I ask because it's still an area that many folks are not comfortable broaching in the workplace. And it's for a couple of reasons, right? Some folks say, well, that's for a subset of the population, right? Mental health isn't something that impacts all of us, which is not true. If you are a living, breathing human being and you have physical health, you have mental health as well. So mental health is not for a subset of the population. The other reason I ask this and why people historically haven't been comfortable is that there's still some stigma associated with it, right? We don't talk about that kind of thing at work. It's not something I feel comfortable mentioning to folks. But again, I don't know what that separation of work and life looks like anymore in light of what we've all been through in the past 2 years and the way our work and our home life has collided in a way that's unprecedented. And then last but not least, I would say if you're not comfortable talking about it, you kind of better get comfortable pretty quickly because people are bringing it up to leaders. They may not be always talking about the word mental health or mental well-being, but they are going to bring it up when they talk about the level of stress that they have. When they make decisions to exit the organization because of that stress, they are absolutely shining a light on it. So I think there are many, many good reasons for folks to increasingly get comfortable with this. And so if we look at the results from the poll, it looks as though, and I purposely made this one anonymous and not a chat because I wanted to give you the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this yet, or I'm not really sure. Those numbers, I think, reflect the reality. People are getting more comfortable, but there's still this uncertainty around what does this mean I need to do, or how do I need to show up for my people if I want to embrace these conversations and be a part of the solution. So that's really what I want to talk about today.